welcome back to my channel. My name is Renee. If you're new, today's video is going to be all about quieting that inner critic. I personally struggle with a lot of anxiety. I struggle with confidence issues, and I wrote down, kind of journaled out 10 tips for myself to kind of keep in mind. There are some resources that I got some of these tips from that I'll leave in the description box for you guys if you're interested. I thought it would be beneficial to you guys, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Number one is to let it go now or it'll grow. If you focus on a thought, if you sit there and overanalyze something, the more that you even give it the time of day, the more it's going to continue to grow. Every time that it continues to grow and you're feeding into the growth spurts of that thought, those are going to grow, and it's going to be like one giant spider web, and it's eventually going to consume you. One thought could just simply be that one thought. We tend to create it into this whole scenario. It just can literally be detrimental to our self-confidence. Sometimes you got to take a step back, step away from the situation to kind of see the fuller picture and to not let it look like it's consuming us. For example, this is a really weird example, but your eyebrows, when you do your eyebrow routine, if you are anyone who does makeup, you understand if you look too closely at your eyebrows, when you take a step back, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what just happened? That's because you're looking too closely. You have to step away, see the fuller picture. The second tip that I have is to have gratitude for the bad things in your life or the things that are testing you. And this could be really, really difficult, trust me, I know. Eventually you have to like release that anger or resentment towards, you know, bad situations that happen to you. And that's not to say to just be happy through it. I feel like there's a difference between going through it and surpassing that moment in your life and not letting it filter into other aspects of your life. What I have kind of realized from a lot of the things that have happened in my life is to not feel guilty necessarily for feeling the certain ways that you felt during that situation, but to find the gratitude in it, because eventually all the bad things in our life builds character. It builds wisdom. There's a difference between comfort and character. You don't want to skate through your life with just the feelings of comfort, because you're never going to build that character. What I look at in a person is how far they've come or what they've gone through, and everything that is bad eventually becomes good. I've seen it. I know that it is a thing. I know it's very difficult to say that. You have to try to find how this moment in your life is going to define you as a person and create that wisdom within you. Number three is confidence comes with being grounded in your sense of self. So you have to always ask yourself that why. Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why do I want this job? Why am I creating these healthy habits for myself? What is your reasoning behind what you want to kind of imprint in this life? Reflect on your core value, your you. For me, that really kind of just shuts down that lack of confidence and the inner dialogue, because my main thing is to just connect with people. I love human beings. I have a lot of empathy towards people. I have a soft spot in my heart for all the people who are like considered a little bit weaker, like people who have been bullied or people who are just like let down by people, even just pets too, like animals in general. Like I just feel so much for the person that isn't necessarily as, you would say, strong as some of the people around them. My core being really wants to like stand up for those people. I just want to make people feel good. You know, that at the end of the day, that's what I really try to implement even into like my work and my life. I never want to make someone feel shitty about themselves. So that's my why. That's who I am in my core. I know that. And when I remember that, when I'm ever feeling low, I kind of like sit up straighter and I like remember I'm doing this for that. It will literally jolt up your confidence so quickly. It's insane. Think about all the hard work that you've been through, that you've put into your life, and don't let external circumstances or your inner dialogue take that away from you. Act in line with your values. Number four is that your confidence will follow your focus. What is your focus right now? It kind of feeds into the first little point that I made. The more that you focus on something, whether that's good or bad, it will eventually grow, because you're putting that energy into it, you're putting that thought into it, and that's what you're seeing. You know, you see all these different things in life, but what you're focused on, that is what becomes your life, because you're living by only seeing that. We're not seeing every single thing that's happening in our peripheral vision. That would be so overwhelming. So we tend to like pinpoint little things in our mind that we focus on. Look at what your focus is on. Are you focusing on the bad? Are you focusing on what could happen? Are you focusing on the good? All the accomplishments and your goals that you have for yourself. Try to focus on what could go right in the most perfect world going into a situation that will make you self-doubt. Even if you don't hit it all the way perfectly, you're gonna be somewhere around that realm because you're thinking about what could go right. You're not sitting there thinking about the nerves, the anxiety, the stress, or whatever, because when you focus on that, it's gonna grow. I also really like to focus in on my self-value. Again, kind of pointing on point number 3. That's what I tend to focus on, and that's what kind of jolts up my energy a lot. Number 5 is to fire your inner critic. You give your mind the job to constantly tell you what people don't like about you, making sure people aren't judging you, making sure everyone likes you. And no offense, like, why? We don't constantly need to like sit there and ask ourselves these questions. So just fire it, the inner critic. Just be like, no, you do not have to do this now. You are fired, released from your daily tasks, no worries. Stop expecting your mind to fix what's wrong inside of you. It's probably so consuming. I mean, trust me, I know it is consuming. I've been there before. Just release the responsibility of constantly questioning yourself and constantly having the need to explain yourself. It's done. You don't need to do it. That's a relief. Number 6 is to replace the word sorry with thank you. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I feel like when you meet somebody at that level of inner critic or inner dialogue, they can feed off that energy, literally kind of manifesting it into the physical world. I found some ones that I thought were so good. Instead of saying sorry for being late, say thank you so much for waiting for me. Instead of saying sorry for being so needy, you say thank you for being there for me. Instead of saying sorry for asking, say thank you for helping me. Instead of saying sorry, I've been so distant, that's one that I say a lot. Say thank you for being understanding. Instead of saying sorry for I'm talking too much, say thank you for listening. This is one that I need to do. I tend to say sorry a lot, which is not good because it just kind of shows your lack of confidence. You know, stand up for yourself. Be like, you know what? Thank you for being there. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for feeling what I'm feeling. Number 7 is to feel free. This is all about relaxing and releasing your feelings rather than clenching up and resisting. The more that we clench up and resist, the more we're shoving that shit down. Breathe, let it come through you, feel what you need to feel, and freaking release it. Don't feel guilt, don't feel pressure, don't feel like the need to compare it. Just, it is what it is. Like, just freaking let it go. Number 8 is to call out your strengths. We live in a world where we only see flaws, even in advertisements or the grocery store. Are you trying to lose weight? Do you want to get this perfect body shape? Do you want to get some plastic surgery to fix all that's your face? Are you in a bad relationship? Do you need a divorce lawyer? Are you not making enough money? Are you not successful enough? Are you not traveling every day of your life? It's just like so negative. It makes us feel so low. We can't really control that aspect of it, but what we can control is what we tell ourselves. And a lot of the time, I know that this is the case because everyone does it, we tend to focus on our flaws, and that's so unhealthy. Why don't we like feed ourselves in? Like, no one's gonna like sit there and do that for you, and no one's gonna love you as much as you love yourself. So why don't you just start feeding yourself positive things about yourself? For every one flaw that you have, see if you can find a good for it. Number 9 is that your eyes can create a meditative state. So I actually heard this in yoga. It was like a YouTube yoga video, and we were in tree pose. If you guys aren't familiar with tree pose, I'll pop it here. But what you have to do to focus on staying on that leg and not like losing your balance is to focus on a point that's not moving. And he said your eyes create a meditative state. And that's so true. If you focus on the person next to you who's wobbling, you're gonna start to wobble and lose your balance. But when you focus on something that is just straight, it's unwavering, unmoving, you will literally stay in that tree pose for so long. If you're ever like just overwhelmed and consumed by the external world that you literally sometimes can't control, try shifting your focus or your eyes to something that you can control. For me, it's clouds. I don't know why, but like if I look up at the sky and I don't see anything else in my peripheral vision, just the clouds, when I watch the clouds go, I just feel like this sense of bliss and like peace. Some people it's the ocean, some people it's nature or nature walks. It could be your dog's eyes. How cute is that? Even like a family member or something. Like if you have a picture frame next to your office and you just focus on your child or something, like I'm sure that brings bliss. When I do that, all the worries and stuff, it like becomes much less overwhelming. Number 10 is to make your past proud. So I actually thought about this last night. I like woke up at 4 in the morning and I was like, I gotta write that one down. But I was thinking about like the victim mentality. I feel like we all stray that way because it's easy. And I have done that. Whenever I'm sad or feeling down, I will think about the worst thing that's happened to me and then feel even worse. We want ourselves to be comforted, but sometimes when we're in that mindset, it almost drags you deeper into that past. You know, everyone has gone through something, everyone has a story, everyone has like a struggle, I feel. They tend to resort back to that whenever they're feeling upset. I feel like your feelings should be validated. Whatever you went through, I'm not saying it was for nothing. I'm not saying to just deal with it and like let it go. What I'm saying is don't let it consume you or trickle into right now. You're here, you're now. Don't let it trap you. You know, it's trapped you in your past. Don't let it trap you now. Instead of looking at it in a negative victim role, you should look at it like, look how far I've come. I'm gonna make my past self that was going through all of that so freaking proud. Overcome it and use it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys all in a future video. I hope you guys got something from this. I love you. Bye.